Viewers, friends, 10 years ago, Arvind Kejriwal was like a breath of fresh air. He promised he wasn't like them, the unscrupulous, power-hungry, their own private coffers and strutted about as if they owned the country. Kejriwal did something no one else had done. He renounced the paraphernalia of power, the Lal Batti flashing cavalcade, the big Lutyens bungalow, the menacing black cats. I am like you. And let me take you over some of his quotes. This is from February 2015. When he was in countries, even prime ministers wait at bus stands. Why can't the same happen here? We want to end the VIP culture in this country, unquote. He's absolutely right, viewers. It should happen here. Who are these politicians? They're one among us. Why can't they be among us? It was so revolutionary, wasn't it? And we liked him for that. January 4th, 2014, Kejriwal refused VIP bungalow. This had never happened, viewers. And he said, and I quote, many ordinary supporters were hurt by houses identified for me by the Delhi government. As I have always said, I am no one. I am for their service. In accordance with their wishes, I give up these houses and will ask Delhi government to look for smaller houses. But friends, I would need to have 2 adjacent houses, one of them as an office. Else, I would become ineffective, unquote. Viewers, have you heard any politician come out and say, look, I don't want a Lutyens bungalow that goes with my Lok Sabha MP-ship or my Rajya Sabha MP-ship? No, viewers, you haven't. Let's be honest about it. So this was all very revolutionary. And we liked him for that. A lot of Delhiites elected him. Eyes shut. Let me tell you, viewers, eyes shut. As I said, he was a breath of fresh air. But you know what they say about power, don't you, viewers? That it corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. Only the rarest of the rare can resist its allure. Kejriwal, as we now know, couldn't resist its invidious charms. I'm not saying he was as bad as some, and there are quite a few, But viewers, before we tell you what went wrong, let's go back to that time. I read you some of those quotes, but let's hear him when he talks about living frugally, modestly, even if he were chief minister. Let's listen to him once to refresh our memories.
कल से मेरे कई चाहने वाले, मेरे दोस्त और मेरे हमारे जो पार्टी के सपोर्टर्स हैं, उन लोगों के मेरे पास फ़ोन आए, उन लोगों के और जो जनता के भी फ़ोन आए, उनके मैसेजेस आए और उन्हें लगा कि मुझे ऐसे घर में नहीं जाना चाहिए, तो मैं ये दोनों घर छोड़ रहा हूँ और मैं सरकार को बोलूँगा कि वो मेरे लिए कोई और इससे भी छोटे घर ढूंढने की कोशिश करे। तो वो कहते हैं ना, सीजर्स वाइफ, तो वही वाली बात है, हमें तो उसके लिए तैयार रहना पड़ेगा। वी हैव टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दैट स्क्रूटिनी।
We have to be prepared for that kind of scrutiny. Caesar's wife, he invokes, viewers, from Shakespeare. 10 years on, Kejriwal has acquired the trappings that make him indistinguishable from the caricatured Neta he said he was never going to be. And this disconnect between practice and rhetoric has become the #1 point of focus for India's sharpest, most politically astute politician, Narendra Modi. Sensing that Kejriwal is facing 10 years of anti-incumbency, PM Modi, in his first pre-poll rally ahead of the Delhi Assembly polls, has zeroed in on what he called was Kejriwal's image, AAPDA. He used the word. The word literally means crisis. And the PM's pun was every bit intended. Listen in, viewers.
बीते 10 वर्षों में 4 करोड़ से अधिक गरीबों के घर, उनका सपना पूरा किया है। मैं देशवासियों को पक्का घर मिले, यही एक सपना था। गिरी है अन्ना हजारे जी को सामने करके कुछ कट्टर बेईमान लोगों ने दिल्ली को आपदा में धकेल दिया। समग्र शिक्षा अभियान के तहत जो पैसे भारत सरकार ने दिए, ये दिल्ली में ऐसी सरकार बैठी है जिसको दिल्ली के बच्चों के भविष्य की परवाह नहीं है। जो पैसे शिक्षा के लिए भारत सरकार ने दिए, आधे पैसे भी पढ़ाई के लिए खर्च नहीं कर पाए लोग। अभी मैं ये स्वाभिमान फ्लैट के लाभार्थियों से बात कर रहा था यहां आने से पहले, तो ज्यादातर वो इस उत्तरी क्षेत्र के रहने वाले थे। तो मैंने उनको पूछा छठ पूजा कैसी रही। उन्होंने कहा साहब सर पे हाथ फोड़ के कह रहे थे, साहब यमुना जी का हाल इतना खराब हुआ, अब हम तो छठ पूजा क्या करें, इलाके में ऐसा छोटा मोटा करके हम मां की क्षमा मांग लेते हैं। साथियों आज 10 साल बाद ये कह रहे हैं, और बेशर्मी देखो, लाज शर्म का नामो निशान नहीं।
Kejriwal, viewers, who has proven himself to be every bit a silver-tongued neta as the best in the business, tried to turn the tables on the Prime Minister. Listen to him now.
आपदा दिल्ली में नहीं आई, आपदा भाजपा में आई हुई है। 3 तरह की आपदा भाजपा में आई हुई है। पहली आपदा, भाजपा के पास सीएम चेहरा नहीं है। दूसरी आपदा, भाजपा के पास नैरेटिव नहीं है, उन्हें पता ही नहीं चुनाव किस मुद्दे पे लड़ना है। तीसरी आपदा, भाजपा के पास कोई भी एजेंडा नहीं है इस चुनाव के लिए।
But viewers, Kejriwal will have his own litany of complaints against the BJP. The non-cooperative attitude of the centre to his government, the use or misuse of the enforcement directorate, etc., etc. There will be, over the next few days, a point-by-point rebuttal of what the Prime Minister has said. But his words can't gloss over the reality. And the reality stands like a colossus. A rupees 52 crore palatial mansion, that's what we are told by the government. The ultimate ode to VIP excess that just can't be hidden from public view. There are those pictures. Its construction went unnoticed, as this marbled mausoleum to a modern-day Maharaja was largely constructed during the COVID-19 outbreak. This fact alone is contentious. The BJP says that when Delhiites were gasping for breath on account of a lack of health infrastructure owing to a resource crunch, Kejriwal was using taxpayer money by the bucket loads to make himself at home with VVIP culture. And viewers, the money is quite grotesque. Let's be honest. Automatic doors of 70 lakhs, commodes worth 10 to 15 lakhs, interior furnishings 10 crores. These are all figures that have been put out, viewers, by the government. Vietnamese marble 1.15 crores and so on. If Sheeshmahal, as it has been dubbed in the media, is an albatross of contradictions weighing down the AAP, then so is its record of unfilled promises. And there are many. AAP promised to publish list of donors when it was formed, but in 2016 it discontinued the practice. It made a formal announcement in 2018. Despite assurances of 24/7 clean and free tap water, 43% of slum dwellers dependent on bottled and tanker water. Who has said this, viewers? It's the BJP that has made this allegation in writing. And if you want confirmation, you can look around. There are water tankers that still course around the city, and you know that, for a price. It said Yamuna will be clean in 5 years. Clearly, viewers, the pledge has not been kept. Delhi air quality 60 times worse than it was when Mr. Kejriwal came into office. The AAP may accuse the BJP of not doing its bit to help run a state where power is shared, but the questions will still remain. They will linger. And some of them are, viewers, has the Sheeshmahal become Kejriwal's biggest image crisis or AAPDA? To paraphrase Modi, has Kejriwal drifted so far from his own value system that he is now indistinguishable from other netas he claims to revile? Is Kejriwal winning because he has cracked the Revri formula that allows him to woo voters? And viewers, if he has performed with such alacrity and proficiency, why does he need to deny such a large percentage of sitting MLAs, ministers, and even the Deputy Chief Minister a ticket or a preferred seat? Why did he have to shift, for example, Manish Sisodia from one constituency to another? Why did he need to take in floor crossers from the Congress and the BJP, the two parties he thinks are worthless? Viewers, these are some of the questions that we will pose tonight, and let's open it up. And I want to first, viewers, get the citizens' perspective here. And I want to begin with Dr. Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan, I know that, like you, I'm sure there were many when Mr. Kejriwal burst upon the scene at the side of Anna Hazare, who said, yes, maybe this guy is actually worth it. He's worth backing. He's talking things that others were scared to even utter. And he was really shouting them out from the top of his lungs. I'm sure you were swayed. You were swayed. He's a very, very persuasive man. And I genuinely believe he was on the right track. Do you believe that Kejriwal is still around today? 10 years into, office?
Good evening, all, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Not only is that Kejriwal not around, even his Atma is not around, it's wandered off. And you're absolutely right that I too was swayed. But even then, something rankled. So I did not vote for him. I asked my wife to vote for him. And for the last 10 years, I have been castigating her for bringing in Kejriwal. No, but look, the fact of the matter is, as the adage goes, that you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. Kejriwal is a glorious exception to that. And you talked about Shakespeare and his invoking Caesars. Polonius is the one who comes to mind. Thoroughly corrupt, slimy person who has not even kept one of his promises. That was Polonius. And this is Kejriwal, I'm afraid. If you look at the last 10 years, let me be very clear about one thing though. Kejriwal is going to come back with a thumping majority, because everything that he's done in the last 5 years is almost identical to what he did in the previous 5 years to that. And still he won a thumping majority. I'm not talking about 2014, where he won 67 out of 70. I'm talking about 2019. So what has changed? The answer is nothing has changed. He is almost the same Kejriwal as far as keeping promises is concerned. Rahul, do you remember you actually interviewed him, one of those famous interviews that went viral, and you had a list of, I think it was 17 promises, and you narrated that none of those promises were kept. And he kept on saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Now, when somebody says, I'm sorry so shamelessly, either he's apologetic or he's playing a game. Now, there are two things. If you're apologetic, then you'd like to improve it. But look at the promises that he made and look at the improvements that he committed. In fact, it's gone the other way around. Yamuna is dirtier than it always was. Every situation, it is dirtier than it was in 2019. It is incomplete. The state of roads, the state of education, half the posts for principals in Delhi run schools till 2 years ago were lying vacant. Delhi run schools, you look at the scams that have happened in Mohalla clinics, you look at the scams that have happened that have been castigated by the Delhi High Court for not having enough CAT machines. The only thing Kejriwal has done successfully is to increase the government ad budget by 4,300% in the last 10 years, is to have spent 1,200 crores on government ads in the last 3 years. This is what they have done. And yes, okay, fine. Every time they bring out this excuse, Rahul, that we've been interfered in by Modi. Modi is doing this. Modi is not allowing us to work. LG is not allowing us to work. Well, what does science teach you? Science tells you that under these circumstances, there has to be a control experiment. And that was brought about when 2.5 years ago, Kejriwal won Punjab. Now, there is no Modi to interfere there. There is no LG to interfere there. How have they fared in the promises that they promised the Punjab people? Not a single promise has been made, including the 1,000 rupees per month to women, including the fact that within a month, he said, I will remove all the drug-related problems that plague Punjab. In fact, it has become worse, including what Kejriwal said that within 6 months, I am not going to have a single farm fire in Punjab. In 2.5 years, there have been excess of 100,000 farm fires. The point is, he is not accountable. In that, is just like any other politician, which is fine. All politicians are hypocrites. Kejriwal is just a bit more. He's been exposed. But another revelation is he is going to win again.
Yeah, I don't think that's really much of a revelation unless something is happening underfoot. But I am speaking to a lot of people on the ground and they're not very happy. Now, I don't know if the BJP can capitalize Ajay Alok, but certainly there is a degree. And I think the AAP has sensed it. That's why they've sort of not given tickets to sitting MLAs in the numbers that they were hoping to at one point. Even the former Deputy Chief Minister has shifted from his constituency. So there is a degree. And, all political parties have done that now since Amit Shah cracked that sort of formula, which I don't believe, viewers, is being honest, to be honest. If you did think that the MLA wasn't performing, you should have removed him mid-course. Why wait 5 years? Anyhow, that's a whole different debate. But Reena Gupta, let me bring you in. You're the national spokesperson of the Aam Admi Party. In my introduction, I never talked about any of the scams. You might have heard that. I didn't mention liquor, this, that, forget it. I'm not even going there. I'm just holding you to your promises. That's it. And I find that this business of saying we were very very ordinary, that is clearly not washing with the facts. You're seeing the visuals. I'm sure that there are not many Delhiites who can dream of lolling about in a lovely big jacuzzi like that, or this beautifully marbled, look at these, or a sauna bath and a steam room and this, that, the other. Where does this come from? Ms. Gupta, just try to explain this, the psychology. Forget about anything else. How did Mr. Kejriwal warm to this quality of life? How did this happen?
Rahul, so
Yes,
the Prime Minister today came to Delhi. He spoke for 43 minutes.
Sure.
And he spent 39 minutes in just abusing Kejriwal.
Ji.
He did not tell the people of Delhi that what has his government done in the last 10 years for the people of Delhi. Delhi, is a quasi-state. It's a semi-state. Law and order and land is under the central government. I have the Sankalp Patra of Bharatiya Janata Party from the last Delhi elections, 2020. Forget everything else. Here it says that by 2022, every slum dweller of Delhi will have a pakka house. Today, when he gave the keys to some 1,700 people, that is a total of 4,700 houses that have been given in the last 10 years to the people of Delhi, to the slum dwellers of Delhi. There are 15 lakh slum dwellers. So at this rate, this Sankalp Patra will take another 200 years to complete. Second issue, he inaugurated 3 colleges today. In 10 years, today he gets a chance to inaugurate 3 colleges. Forget when these colleges will be complete. After 10 years, he inaugurates 3 colleges. And we all know what has happened to all the inaugurations that he has done in the last 10 years. There should have been one AIIMS in every city of Delhi. There should have been an IIT in every city of Delhi, one IIM. Because he goes around inaugurating campuses. I think he should change his name, and he should be called the Udghatan Mantri, not the Pradhan Mantri. So that is the promises that he has given to the people of Delhi, and what has he delivered. So let me come to the second area, which is under the central government.
No, ma'am, one second.
Which is law and order in Delhi.
This is all great.
The
Hang on, 1 second, Reena Gupta.
Please let me complete.
Look, I'm not
Rahul,
denying you.
No.
I am
no,
not
Rahul.
denying you.
Rahul,
but you're not answering
Anand
my question.
Ranganathan spoke for 12 minutes.
12
You did
minutes?
not interrupt him. Please let me complete. I will answer every
He
question.
spoke for 4 minutes on the last channel.
I will answer every question.
4 minutes here and perhaps
I will
another 4
answer
minutes on
every
another
question.
channel. That'll make 12. Certainly not tonight. But anyhow, chalo, aap bol lo, madam. Aap bol lo. Yes, Reena Gupta, continue.
जी.
Yeah. Modi is a failure. Please elaborate.
देखिए, and also is Mr. Modi going to be the Chief Minister of Delhi?
Yes, ma'am.
He's coming and making promises. Whom are we going to hold accountable?
Okay.
दिल्ली में कौन मुख्यमंत्री बनने वाला है?
जी.
कौन दिल्ली में मुख्यमंत्री का चेहरा है? उसके बारे में कुछ नहीं बोला गया.
Okay.
Now, I'll complete my point. So,
yes,
second issue is law and order in Delhi, which comes directly under the Home Minister of Delhi. Delhi police reports directly to the Home Minister of Delhi.
Yes, ma'am.
Delhi has become the most unsafe metro in the country. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
This is NCRB saying that Delhi is the most unsafe metro. There are 3 rapes every day in Delhi. Chain snatching, murder, khule-aam kidnapping ho rahi hai, firing ho rahi hai. When you read these stories in the newspaper, you wonder कि दिल्ली की बात हो रही है, किसी बीहड़ इलाके की कहीं बात हो रही है जहां पे चोर डकैत ऐसे दिन दहाड़े चोरी कर रहे हैं.
Yes,
तो 2 काम जो दिल्ली ने आपको दिए,
आपने बोल दिया Mr. Modi has failed Delhi.
दोनों पे फेल हुए.
1 second. Mr. Modi has failed Delhi, but I asked you a very simple question. I didn't even go into what you have done. I've only asked you, how does a person who said to all of us, I'm not a VIP, I'm just like you, I want to live in a house like you, I want to shop in a place like you do, I want to, go in a car like you use, suddenly move into a house or build a house for himself with public money where the bathroom and the spa is bigger than the average home owned by 82.6% of Delhiites. And I'm giving you the number of everybody in Delhi except for the upper middle class and upwards. That's 82.6%. I don't have, madam, a bathroom the size of that tub. And Dr. Ranganathan will tell you, I live in a Barsati. So I want to ask you, how does a man acquire this taste? What happens? This is my only question. Forget about anything else.
Let me respond.
Yeah.
Yes, Rahul.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, that is a residence which has been built for the Chief Minister of Delhi.
Okay.
Arvind Kejriwal does not even live there anymore.
No, he was living there.
He said, मुझे कोई जरूरत नहीं है ऐसे घर की, मैं
बनाया
छोड़ रहा हूँ. He
50
left the house. Now, for a prime minister who lives in a 10,000 crore bungalow, which is 32,000 square feet, it's a bit rich to ask these questions.
But he didn't pretend. The Prime Minister didn't say that I want to live in a 2-room tenement. The Prime Minister never made those noise. I'll play out that sequence. Let's play this out. Show me one bite where the Prime Minister. 1 second, Ms. Gupta. Ms. Gupta, 1 second. Show me one place where the Prime Minister says, I will not take the Prime Minister's number 7 RCR, now of course Lokmanya, whatever place it is, that residence, that I will not move into a ministerial, prime ministerial bungalow. I've never heard the Prime Minister say that. He didn't have those pretensions. He always liked to wear his nice clothes and his lovely pen.
Let me respond.
And he would, just let me play that soundbite, viewers. You listen to it. I asked you, what possessed Mr. Kejriwal? And she's talking about the Prime Minister's psychology. Arey bhai, listen to this, viewers. Let's listen to Mr. Kejriwal again. Listen.
कल से मेरे कई चाहने वाले, मेरे दोस्त और मेरे हमारे जो पार्टी के सपोर्टर्स हैं, उन लोगों के मेरे पास फ़ोन आए, उन लोगों के और जो जनता के भी फ़ोन आए, उनके मैसेजेस आए और उन्हें लगा कि मुझे ऐसे घर में नहीं जाना चाहिए. सो मैं ये दोनों घर छोड़ रहा हूँ और मैं सरकार को बोलूँगा कि वो मेरे लिए कोई और इससे भी छोटे घर ढूंढने की कोशिश करे. तो वो कहते हैं ना, सीजर्स वाइफ, तो वही वाली बात है. हमें तो उसके लिए तैयार रहना पड़ेगा. वी हैव टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दैट स्क्रूटिनी.
We have to be prepared for that scrutiny. So I am scrutinizing 10 years later. These are his words, not mine, viewers. I'm entitled to scrutinize because he asked us to scrutinize. He's prepared for it. He says Caesar's wife. I don't know where Caesar's wife is gone. It is astounding, viewers. It's a very simple question. It's a very simple question. Well, let me bring in the BJP. And also, Ms. Gupta, forgive me if I might be mistaken, and maybe you won't come again to my show, but I just want to remind you that roads come under you, schools come under you, water comes under you, pretty much everything that has an interface with the normal Delhiite comes under you. Yes, land and, the other highfalutin law and order doesn't come under you, and that's a mess in every state. It's funny, viewers, when I ask, and they all quote this NCRB data. So when you ask the Samajwadi Party, they say UP is the number 1 in crime. They are the ones who are topping. When you ask the UBT Shiv Sena, they say no, Maharashtra is under the BJP number 1 under the NCRB data. Ye NCRB data bhi kya? There are specific editions for different political parties to read. It's also a bit spectacularly
Can I
viewers
respond?
opportunistic.
Rahul,
but anyhow,
can I respond to
we
both
know
your questions?
that law and order is
Give me 10
law
more
and order
seconds,
is
let
not
me
in place
respond.
in Delhi. But I was just asking a simple question. I don't know why people get so upset with me for asking the most basic question. I'm not asking about the corruption. I'm not talking about the liquor scam, the people on bail. I'm not asking about why the malish was happening in a jail that was run administratively by the Delhi government. I'm not even going there, viewers. I'm not talking about the people who have switched, the people who will switch. I'm not talking about horse trading. I'm just talking about psychology. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan is raising his hand and Ajay Alok must come in. Yes.
Yeah, no, I
So
just
give me 10 seconds to respond.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gupta ने कहा very erudite and I really respect her views, but उन्होंने कहा कि I took 12 minutes, इतने तो मैंने शादी के फेरे में भी नहीं लगाए थे. लेकिन मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ, simple question राहुल आपका था. This is where AAP leaders need to learn from Kejriwal. You asked a simple question, why does a man who wears a shirt and a pant and puts a Reynolds pen out there, wears chappal, tattered chappal, why does he need a sauna and a state-of-the-art gym and jacuzzi in his house? Kejriwal would have said, गलती हो गई, sorry. Ms. Gupta should also say sorry. ये प्राइम मिनिस्टर ये करते हैं वो करते हैं. अरे भाई केजरीवाल की बात हो रही है. प्राइम मिनिस्टर जो भी करे गलत हो अगर वो कर रहे हैं. आप
अरे वो घर पीडब्ल्यूडी ने बनाया है, केजरीवाल ने तोड़ना बनाया है. पीडब्ल्यूडी ने घर बनाया है. दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री का घर है, पीडब्ल्यूडी ने बनाया है. What has Kejriwal got to do with it? Many prime ministers have lived in 7 RCR or whatever it's called now. पर किसी ने वहां पे जिस तरह से मोदी जी ने कोरोना के टाइम में 500 करोड़ का टेंडर निकाल के उसको रिफर्बिश करवाया, उससे पहले तो किसी ने नहीं करवाया. किसी प्रधानमंत्री ने 15 लाख का सूट नहीं पहना, अपना नाम लिखवा के. ये तो सिर्फ मोदी जी ने करवाया है.
Let's get into
और
the
मैं
facts.
तो I'm saying
Let's
that
get into
open
the
all the
facts.
houses.
Where did
Why
the
don't
money
you
come
open
from
all
for
the
the
houses
construction
of
of
all
this
the chief ministers
mammoth,
and the prime
mammoth
minister?
mansion, marble
Let's
mammoth
open all the
mansion,
houses.
viewers? One second.
Sir,
Let's get
सबके
into
घर
the
खोल दीजिए ना.
Madam,
आप सारे मुख्यमंत्रियों के और प्रधानमंत्री के घर खोल दीजिए.
I admit
Let
the
us
Prime
see
Minister
who is
lives in a
lavish, who is
beautiful
not
house.
lavish.
I admit the Prime Minister lives in a beautiful house.
And
But
who
he didn't
pays
say
for
that
it?
I don't want to live there. Your man said it. Kejriwal
And he
said
wears
anyhow.
beautiful suits
I
and
agree.
beautiful
I agree, ma'am. This is a
sunglasses and
difficult
beautiful
question.
pen.
This is a difficult question. अब आपने कह दिया कि he built it for others. He doesn't want to live there.
But
Why
the
don't you
same
hand it
Prime
over?
Minister
Hang on.
used to say कि
Why
मैं
don't you
झोला
hand
उठा
it
के चला
over?
जाऊंगा.
Why don't you hand it over to the Delhi Tourism Department and turn it into a 5-star? Let me tell you, a 5-star boutique hotel. It'll earn you a lot more money. Within 10 years, the 52 crores will be back. वही कर दो. वो तो आपके हाथ में. Anyhow, let me bring in Ajay Alok of the BJP. Mr. Alok, look, they're blaming you for everything. They say that this is one of those, potato sack races where our legs are tied together. If I take a step forward, the BJP has to be in step with me. If it's not in step with me, we all fall. And the poor people of Delhi fall between the cracks. So tell me, why don't you want to run with Mr. Kejriwal in the direction that he wants to run in? Because you would have made Delhi into London by now. That is the accusation. Could you please respond?
Yeah, many accusations from right from Reena ji to Anand ji, everyone. So let's come one by one. And pardon me, I have to say this because I don't have a English translation for this. Especially Reena ji. हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश पे दम निकले. रीना जी, प्रधानमंत्री जी दिल्ली के हर सिटी में एम्स कैसे बनाएंगे? हम तो जानते थे कि दिल्ली एक ही सिटी है. आम आदमी पार्टी का दिमाग इतना घसक गया है कि उसको दिल्ली में पता नहीं कितनी सिटी दिख रही है. दिल्ली के हर सिटी में प्रधानमंत्री जी आईआईटी कैसे बनाएंगे? दिल्ली एक ही सिटी है, ये हर सिटी में क्या होता है? यू ओनली सेड दैट. सो दैट रिफ्लेक्ट्स द स्टेट ऑफ माइंड आम आदमी पार्टी इज इन. And rightly Pradhan Ji said that this is not Aam Admi Party, it's AAPDA.
Let him finish. Let him finish. He didn't interrupt you, madam. He didn't interrupt you.
I'm quoting your statement. I'm quoting your statements only. Please check it. You said it. Pradhan Mantri rightly said that it's not AAP Party, it's AAPDA Party. And you know what your AAPDA has done? That has got Vipada on Delhi. Vipada on Delhi, and you're right, Anand Ji, when you say that they will come back with a thumping majority. You may be right. You know why? Because this channel is not being seen by the core Aam Admi Party voters, what is called, say, free bijli, free pani. This channel is being seen by intellectuals, English-speaking giants who might consider Kejriwal in a different print, but he's very famous in Jhuggi. That's what the impression is. No, there you are sadly mistaken. You are sadly mistaken. The chains have been broken. वही उसी झुग्गी झोपड़ी में, उसी संगम विहार में, उसी नरेला में, उसी हर जगह पे जब यहाँ पे पानी की कालाबाजारी हुई, there was a tanker mafia operating, and the poor man couldn't secure a glass of pure water without paying. That pain still lingers on with them. And Mr. Anand, I take a very strong exception of one word of yours, that all politicians are hypocrite. No, all politicians are not hypocrite. Had this been the case, this country wouldn't have come so much forward and we would have been the 5th largest economy on this earth. So please, you cannot compare apple and oranges. I agree, Kejriwal is one piece, which is very difficult to reproduce. India has seen for the first time in 1975, in 75 years of this history, this kind of a leader who has seen so much success in last 10 years just by speaking lies continuously and continuously and continuously and proving that he can be the master of liars, and still people kept on believing him. But no more is the case. The chains have been broken and he is being shown a face everywhere. Today he was doing press conference. He was chiding Pradhan Mantri ji saying 15 lakh ka suit and this, or hum buzurgo ka treatment. Immediately a person got up within his press conference and said, I want the treatment. Where is the treatment? I went to so many hospitals, I couldn't secure the treatment. And he ended up answering, I will get you treatment, don't worry. And he ended the press conference. This is the live seen by every TV channel there. This is the situation. And people are now realizing that, yes, he cannot take the people of Delhi for granted. It was the middle class, it was the richer class who wanted to see a change in 2014 and 19, that let's forget BJP, let's forget Congress, let's see new Aam Admi Party, Javed Jadu. And in the next 5 years, this free syndrome went on. Free Bijli, free Pani. That syndrome has also been busted.
Anyhow, I just hope, Ajay Alok, that you're not going to try to beat the AAP at its own Revdi game. So I just hope that's not going to happen. Are you? Or are we going to see in the next 5 days a big announcement which says that we are upping the stakes? We will give 2,500, 3,600 rupees to every woman. I hope that doesn't happen, because I'll hold you accountable for what you've said.
Today PM has already said that we are already in the process of not only giving free electricity, but we are going to make people earn from the electricity. We are paying a subsidy of 78,000 rupees per household for putting up a solar panel, which is being implemented all across India.
The point is, viewers, the BJP is not telling us one thing, that some of the projects were also not with alacrity passed by them. Because they also want to create the impression that if there is a double-engine sarkar, i.e. the party in power in Delhi is theirs, the BJP, and the centre is also theirs, things will happen smoothly. So there is that game also going on in the background, to be absolutely honest. But viewers, at the end of the day, it's not as if the AAP didn't know. The AAP knew. And it in fact accused Sheila Dikshit and the then Congress government, which allows me to bring in Alok Jindal, of the same thing that it is accusing the BJP of doing today. But I want to ask you, Mr. Jindal, and this is a fundamental question, and thank you for waiting your turn. You know, the Congress today has turned into a bitter critic of the AAP. So you obviously seen something that you hadn't over the last 10 years, but now you've realized that, okay, this is a wolf in sheep's clothing and it's not quite right. But I want to ask you, it's a very funny explanation that Reena Gupta ji gave. And I don't know if you agree with it. You're a lawyer, so maybe you can illuminate us. She said, "वो तो PWD ने बनाया था." तो जिंदल साहब, PWD तो I thought government of Delhi के department है. It's a department of the Delhi government, and they use Delhi government funds to do it. So how can you actually, under the law, constitutionally separate yourself from the PWD? They've done it from another branch, another ministry, which put out an advertisement the other day saying that, listen, this entire Revdi is not quite what it appears. They did that with one. But can they do it with the PWD also? Mr. Jindal, today I'm asking you as a lawyer.
In fact, the decision has to be taken up by the government. The ministry takes the decision. It is executed by the bureaucracy and the department. So it is with respect to allocation of fund, with respect to manner in which the tenders would be floated. Everything is not solely in the hands of the PWD, and the ministry has no control over it. Rather, it is the ministry that decides everything that is executed by the department then. And secondly, Rahul, when we are talking about Delhi, this election is going to be very different as compared to the previous two elections.
Okay.
In the previous two elections, there was no baggage that Aam 2020 onwards, baggage started building up for Aam Admi Party. And now what we see is the own party workers, they were assaulted in the house of their party chief. And we see that while their party cadre people will be going out into the constituency to seek votes, this hypocrisy, their leaders going in jail, and what all they had promised, whether it's ghost people, there are in the mohalla clinics, there are ghost tests taking place, and then there are all accounts that are being fudged. Then there's the education scam, whereby in order to have better results for 10th standard, students are being forced to drop out from government schools and go for open schooling.
Oh my God.
That is one scam in Delhi that is not being reported by the media.
It's a scam.
When we are talking,
oh my
yes,
gosh.
absolutely. In fact, what
now, viewers, this is, just bear in mind, viewers, this is Mr. Jindal speaking. Mr. Jindal speaking comes very well researched. This is the Congress kettle calling the up pot black. They are both friends. These are allies. These are allies. And the allies are making these accusations against each other. So, viewers, it must really be a bad scene out there. Let me tell you. If the allies are also now, I mean, your government to us.
Rahul,
this is the scenario, viewers.
Delhi was built by Sheila Dikshit.
No, whatever it was. I mean, this is the Congress party point of view, viewers, senior leader of the Congress. Let me tell you, this is a fascinating story. And let me tell you, viewers, still the AAP will win. Because we've got so used to our reverie. We can't live without it. And it's true. We can't really. Prices are going through the roof. There are hardly any jobs. People will say all these things. And what else can they do to get by? Very quickly, Doctor, I need to move on very quickly. Yes.
No, perhaps I don't have time to rebut at leisure what my good friend Dr. Ajay said. I really respect him. But when he said he takes strong exception to my saying all politicians are hypocrite, I just like to mention a couple of things, that every single reverie and freebie that Kejriwal has promised and delivered, the BJP has done it as well.
Everyone. So,
from free pilgrimage to electricity.
That's why I asked.
Can I get 10 seconds?
Madam, okay, now
Can I get
you'll make an accusation, then I'll have to get the BJP to rebut and there'll be a problem.
No,
so
I
then,
won't make an accusation. I will not
fine.
make an accusation.
Okay, ma'am, make your point.
No, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
See, Rahul, this whole reverie, it's a misnomer.
Okay, misnomer.
The government of Delhi is managing its budget very well. I'm an economist and I can tell you that the tax to GDP ratio of Delhi...
Ma'am, have you seen what the High Court has said? Have you seen what the High Court has said?
Yes, please, yes. I have seen.
So let's leave it
at this. I'm giving you the numbers.
No, please don't. I don't believe in reverie culture.
Delhi is the best managed.
As a principle, I don't believe in reverie culture. You're free to give it, ma'am.
Bharatiya Janata Party believes in giving reverie to Adani.
Yes, you're right. You're free to give it, ma'am. You're free to give it. My point is, I do not take... believe in this reverie culture. So, I'm sorry, you can't convert me to something that I don't believe in. So, you can definitely give it to whoever you feel like, but let's not try to valorize this. Please, ma'am, we are seeing the impact of reveries. Look at the reveries, viewers, that are given to farmers in this country. They're not even taxed. Wouldn't we all want a reverie like this? Come on.
And look
so
at
everyone is in this reverie boat, and don't tell me that the reverie is not a problem. Just look at your fiscal deficit numbers and you'll find out whether reverie is a problem or not. So let's wake up, madam, please.
Yes,
you can be a great economist. Then tell me, ma'am, how is it that we have to keep servicing a debt?
Words that you don't understand,
please. I know I don't understand anything, ma'am. I'm only quoting back to you what the High Court has said recently. I leave it at this.
I am giving you the hard data.
It's great.
I am giving you the hard data.
Give all the reveries. Give everything free.
Gujarat is reeling under debt.
And I hope you win the election on that. And remember, viewers, this is the same party that wanted to give reverie, so-called reverie in Punjab, hasn't still managed it. And they say, no, we said कि हम कभी भी 5 साल में दे देंगे. It's been 3.5 years.